Good work dealing with that spy. You please, Stalin. Make sure you never disappoint him. Now, I have a special task for you. We are amassing for our attack on Berlin. The Allies are aware of this, so we are going to, how do they say, throw them a bone? I want you to create a diversion. Occupy their troops until we can drop soldiers behind their lines. Once the troops are in, use the soldiers to cut off Allied communications. With no early warning. We can take Berlin by surprise.
Comrade, acknowledged. Yes, acknowledged.
Construction options. Building. Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Affirmative.
Construction options. Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Waiting order.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Waiting order.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Comrade, affirmative. Reporting.
Affirmative.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction options. Building.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Construction options. Building. Building.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Vehicle reported.
Construction complete. Unit ready. New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Comrade.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready.
Affirmative. At once.
Reporting. Awaiting orders.
Building.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged. Very well. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. At once.
Vehicle affirmative. Acknowledged.
Reconstruction options. Building.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Training.
Yes,
Affirmative.
sir.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready.
Waiting. Agreed.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Agreed. Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. 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 Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Agreed.
Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Waiting order.
Awaiting orders.
Spy plane ready.
Comrade.
Acknowledged.
Select target. Building on hold. Cancel.
Yes, sir. Waiting order.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Ready and waiting. Very well.
Construction complete.
Reporting. Affirmative. At once. Reporting. At once.
Construction
Waiting
options.
order. Comrade.
Affirmative.
Building.
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Repairing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Spy
Comrade.
plane ready.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Comrade.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Select target. Repairing.
Reporting.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Vehicle
prepared.
reporting. Waiting order.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Comrade,
Allied
acknowledge.
reinforcements have arrived.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Waiting order.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Allied reinforcements have arrived. Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building. Unable to comply. Building in progress. Unit lost. On hold.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Vehicle report.
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. At once. Waiting order. At once.
Unable to comply. Building in progress.
Awaiting orders.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
Waiting. Affirmative.
locked.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Affirmative. 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 Waiting order.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building prepared.
Comrade. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Unit prepared.
Acknowledged.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Report. Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Vehicle report. Affirmative. Reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Comrade.
Spy plane ready.
Acknowledged.
Building. Select target.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Comrade.
Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Waiting order.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Reporting.
Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building. Spy plane
Affirmative.
ready. Select target.
No problem.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge.
Building.
Awaiting orders.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes. Acknowledge.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledge. Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Comrade. Affirmative.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting. Acknowledged.
Spy plane
Yes,
ready.
sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Waiting. Acknowledge. Acknowledged. Reporting.
Affirmative. Yes. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Waiting order.
Unit
Acknowledge.
lost.
Reporting.
Acknowledged.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Ready and waiting.
Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting.
Acknowledge.
Vehicle reporting.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. At once.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Select target.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Report.
Acknowledge.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Comrade. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Comrade. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting or
Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge. Comrade. Affirmative. Comrade.
Acknowledged.
Comrade.
Acknowledged. Report acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative.
Select target.
Yes, sir.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Comrade. Acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Awaiting affirmative. Affirmative. Report affirmative.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes,
Allied
sir.
reinforcements
Affirmative.
have
Yes, sir.
arrived. Silence
Affirmative.
needed.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
Waiting order.
Affirmative.
Comrade.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Awaiting or
Unit
affirmative.
lost. First objective met. Silos needed. Unit ready. Training.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Unit ready. Training.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Waiting
Training.
orders. At once.
Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit
Of
ready.
course. Ready and waiting.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready. Training.
Ready and waiting. Agreed. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Spy
Affirmative.
plane ready. Unit ready.
Awaiting orders.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Acknowledge.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Waiting on affirmative. Waiting on affirmative.
Acknowledged.
Waiting on affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative.
Ready and waiting.
Lost.
Very well. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Second objective met. Mission accomplished.